Good afternoon, class, and welcome to your online course. My name is Dr. Raipur, and here's Math 227 for the summer. So I have sent you several emails already. I hope you've had a chance to explore your course. So basically, when you enter Canvas on the homepage, I have put numbers so it makes it easy to follow 1, 2, 3, and so on. So the very first one is welcoming you to your course. It's a 1 or 2 minute message. I'm happy to have you here, and I wish you all best of luck. The second one is the class philosophy, and basically the idea is that this is a community, and therefore we are here to help one another. And of course, we are going to follow the proper etiquette and have respect for one another. The course objective is about the use of probability techniques, hypothesis testing, predictive techniques to facilitate decision making, so on and so forth. So the objective of the course is given. And of course, to contact me, those of you who have already been in contact with me, you know the email address and how fast I get back to you, which is less than 24 hours. The next one, number 3, we have the announcements that we can click on it right here or on the left navigation bar, you can click on that. So let me put this in a student view first. And if you click on the announcements, there are several announcements that are available to you. The first one was the recorded orientation, which has an old recorded orientation, and I will update this after this recording becomes available. Welcome on orientation, exemption to orientation, and there was a couple of emails to you for welcoming you to the course. And as far as that one is concerned, it started a couple of weeks ago. Then I sent it a week later, and then a couple of days prior to the start of the course, and one was sent yesterday. So that's as far as the announcements are concerned, and more announcements are coming your way. Then number 4, and I'm going to quickly go over them and then spend some time with a little bit more details. We have the syllabus. Again, you can click right here or on the left navigation bar, look up the syllabus. Then we have the modules. Under the modules, we have the practice test, the PowerPoints, homework, practice test solution. And then we have, again, on the left navigation bar or here, the discussion forum. And the office hours, we don't want to mix them up with the class hours. Class hours can be found under the Zoom. This is the office hours right before the class. So again, the class hours right under the Zoom, you should be able to find it. And so going back to the home page, let's start with the syllabus. We're going to explore the syllabus. A couple of things we see. We see the syllabus as well as the calendar. So first, I want to quickly go over the calendar, and that is basically telling us when the exams are due, what should we do to stay at top of the game and don't get behind. And we have this introduction to my open math. I'm going to refer to it as MOM from now on, which is due immediately because you need to get familiar with the course. And for example, the first exam is just right this Saturday. It's around the corner. Let's take this and look at the syllabus now over here. Again, welcoming you to the course. And then because syllabi are getting larger and larger, I put them in the following format: topics, such as student learning outcomes, text, calendar, calculators, you name it. Because students may not give it a chance to read every page, I put it in this format. Please take a look at the important parts. I'm going to go over them for you, but you really want to spend some time on that to be on the safe side. So the very first thing, of course, is the course, the topic, and the name of the course, student learning outcome, and what we are learning along with the course objective. In short, we're dealing with statistics. The text and the digital homework, they are all completely free. You can click on it right here to get to the text, and this one over here to get to the digital homework. I'll show you a different way to get there in a moment, but for now, we have the text I will show you, we have the digital homework that I will show you. And then we have the calendar again, and it shows how to get to the class through the Zoom on homepage of through the Zoom of the Canvas, or use this meeting link. As far as the exams are concerned, we are going to have them set up such that every exam is taken on Saturdays. I want everybody to be relaxed and take the exam sometime on Saturday. Remember, you need a couple of hours to take the exam. So you don't want to start it too late, no later than 9, 8, maybe even 7 p.m., because you need a couple of hours to complete that. And during the week, we will have the exam review and the synopsis of what is covered for the exam. As far as the exams are concerned, because this question has come up often, there will be no proctorio exam, okay? And as I said, exam reviews are done during the class meetings, and there are other important parts. For example, calculators and formula sheets, they're all available to you online. I'll show you where to find the formula sheet, by the way. And there are some online calculators. You can use any calculators, but you have to show your work within reason. And as far as the tech support is concerned for my Open Math and the campus, we have the information here in case. The Pi Shop, also known as a Math Lab, you have a website. This is for tutoring, of course. Now, this is probably the most important part of a syllabus for any student, which is the way the course grade is calculated. So we have online homework 200 points, and that one you have a certain due date. As long as it's done before the due date, it doesn't matter how long it takes you to do it. If you start a piece of homework and you don't finish it in one setting, you can always come back to it. It doesn't matter. As long as you do it before the due date, you get the full credit. On a normal basis, students do extremely well here. The discussion board, known as participation, it's 100 points. There are 5 of them. Each one is worth 20 points. I'll show you. Each one exam is worth 100 points. We have 4 of them, 400 points, and the final 300 points. So they add up to 1,000 points. So it's a very easy calculation. 90%, that means 900 points. So 900 and above is an A. 80% means 800 and above is a B. 70%, 700 and above is a C, so on and so forth. There is no makeup policy because you have plenty of time to take the exam, and I've set it up for Saturday, so you will be relaxed to take the exam. If something comes up and you let me know in advance, I do my best to accommodate you. But remember, it's ultimately up to you to do this in a timely fashion. And so What else I will do for you? If the final score is high, that means at least 80% or better. Homework and discussion forums are done 90% or higher. Then I will replace the worst exam grade before the final with the final exam if this action result in a higher letter grade. So I want to make sure everybody understands what's going on here. The first four exams, if any of them is not as good as it's supposed to be, I'll be more than happy to change it with the final as long as the criteria are met. Course late work, definitely this is a fast-paced course. You can't afford to do anything late, but there is for the homework assignments, there's a 10% deduction if you use a late pass. For some of them, you may be able to use, but we don't have it for anything else. This concept of a CSULB 36 is extremely important to me because what it says, and you can check the website, you need 3 times the number of units per week to be successful in a course. In other words, if it's a 5-unit course, you need 15 hours. If it's a 4-unit course, you need 12 hours a week. This is for a regular semester, which is a 16-week semester. But for a fast pace such as this one, you need minimum of 20 hours, okay, just to be on the safe side. Dropping policy, I hope we don't have to worry about that, but basically students who miss the orientation do not register with the publisher, meaning in this case, of course, mom, miss the assignments, or miss any of the exams, they will be dropped. There are more useful information here. I highly recommend you pay attention to them, such as OSS and financial aid, other resources, and please use them if you like. Also, the summary to be successful in this course is that you study the PowerPoints in each module, you do your homework in a timely fashion, and watch the video lectures that are many of them before the homework or embedded within the homework. Study the practice test and their solution, post question in the discussion forum. Needless to say, you can send your question via Canvas or the Canvas email, and the review session is done, of course, and take the exam by their due date. As far as the review session, if you watch, the recorded session does the same thing. And of course, the office hours, the consultation hours, whatever you want to call that. And there's a syllabus addendum that gives you more information as far as the course description, the number of units, and so forth. So let me go back to the homepage of Canvas. And so the next thing, it's module. Again, you can click the module here, or you can click the module here. So let me quickly read that, and then I'll go over that and go over everything for you. So print the practice test, watch the PowerPoint, solve the practice test, and then do the homework there. And we have the practice test solution. So if you click on the modules, first I want to show you what you find under it. The very first thing is accessing your online homework. If you click on this, it tells you to go to this website. It will ask you for the course ID. It will ask you for the enrollment key, and you basically register. That's all there is to it. That's the first part. And I will show you how MOM works, but that's the information for now. Then the next one is the PowerPoints. We have the PowerPoints lectures and practice test solutions. So what we have here, we have the recorded practice tests, We have lectures by section. It's a playlist. Let's see if I can bring this down here. It may be more helpful if I put this down. And so right here, there is a YouTube channel that has all the sections. I will show you how to find the PowerPoints, and these are the recordings of those. Going back here, these are the practice tests. They have been already recorded for all the chapters, starting from chapter 1 all the way to the end. Going back to the modules. So the first one, my open map. The second one, the PowerPoint's recordings. Okay. So now we have exam 1 module, exam 2 module covering specific chapters, in this case 4 and 5, exam 3, exam 4, exam 5, and at the end we have more information, formulas, and calculators. I will go over one of these modules, module 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because they're similar. As long as we go through one of them, that's good enough. But before I do that, I went over the first 2 pieces, my open math. In essence, this one, which is my YouTube combination of different YouTube channels that I have. I want to go over the last one because these are just resources. So as far as the formulas are concerned, you can use the formulas for the exams. And it is highly recommended when you do work, when you show work, start with formulas and then plug in. All right. So that's the formulas. The next one, we need the tables. We have various tables. You can find them here, or you can find any of the tables online. For example, the z-score, the t-table or the t-score, chi-square table, so on and so forth. So we have formulas, tables. Also, we have information about calculators. Let me tell you what I have put up here. I have put up here the very first one. These are some commands that you can use. In other words, it's important to know the commands, but we can't just use the commands to say that is our work, okay? Now, one of the things I've done, I want to show you this one. This is a calculator that I could, download. It's an emulator online. And I use the information on this page. Now, I gotta be honest with you. Sometimes it's not easy to get that happen. But if you follow the instruction, and if need be, you get the help from campus support, you should be able to do that. But aside from that, we have many different calculators that you can use. And I have put the resources here. So first of all, if you go down, you'll find different commands. Here's, for example, a website which helps you calculate the z-score. You may not know what's a z-score now, but you'll find out. Here's another one showing you how to calculate the t-score, for example. It's called StarTrek.com. For chi-square, So we do have various calculators available to you. And what I've done is I've put all of them in this very last module. So the very last module consists of resources. The very first one is about my open math. The second one is about recordings. By the way, speaking of the recordings, you can find it on the left navigation bar also. Sometimes it's easier to find it right under the modules. Now it's time to go over a set of modules, exam 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to go over just one of them. I start with PT, practice test. What is it and why do I do that? This, if you want to print it or just download it, either way is fine. I would highly recommend you take about 5 to 10 minutes to read this. What it tells you is what you're getting yourself into as far as the very first module is concerned, which covers the first 3 chapters. Okay, and this tells you if you could do this, you will nail the first exam. So first, just read for the first 5. It takes 5 to 10 minutes. Then notice what we have. Then I start with chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. Those are the 3 chapters. So what is under chapter 1? The PowerPoints. And if you download the PowerPoints and you put them in slide mode, when you get to a page, it doesn't give you the whole page. For example, this page, it gives you paragraph by paragraph or line by line. When you see a question, an example, it does not show you the solution. It gives you the question. Then you have a chance to do it on your own, and line by line, the solution shows up if you put it in slide mode. Then the next section, so there are a bunch of sections for the chapter, and there you have it. So under the first module, we have the practice test, we have the PowerPoints for chapters that are being covered. What happens at the end of the same module, now we have the solution to this. See, this was the practice test that you have spent 5 to 10 minutes reading. I have the solution with details. I highly recommend you take a look at the solution that I have. This is the way you should answer your questions. Everything is justified with proper mathematical formulas. Okay. And we do have the recording of that. So under the module, module 1 or exam 1 module, we have the practice test, we have the PowerPoints for those chapters, and we have the solution to practice test. Right here, which is this says recorded practice test lectures, or right here, we have the recording of those practice tests. So everything you need is right here. Going back to the home page. Again, I will go over my open math in a moment. So this is the home page of Canvas. We covered the syllabus modules. We're going to cover the homework at the end, actually. And discussion forum. You can click on it here. So on the left navigation bar, you can click on the discussion or the discussion forum here. So we have the student bios. I highly recommend, you just read mine as a sample and then put yours. Just reply. Frequently asked questions. Sometimes students have questions. I've put together everything that I've seen in the past. And if you have a question that is universal, I will add it to this. So please read this before you send an email. It covers a lot of topics. Where to find the exam password. This, I mean, just for the sake of argument, it always happens. Every exam is password protected. There will be an email sent to you and you can find it under the announcement with the exam title. So it happens all the time. So read the frequently asked questions. The whole thing takes you a couple of minutes to read. And now we have 5 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those 5 discussion forums, now you receive points for them because each one is worth 20 points. So for example, if the first one, and again, I highly recommend you read before you get on with that. Many students do not bother to read. So what is it that you should do? Let's see if we can make this happen actually. Well, I think it explains then what you need to do. And then I have a simple example. As you can see, you have to write the question and then you have to solve it using proper formula. This is a math course with proper formula. So I have done that. Here's an example, as I mentioned. Then a similar question. Then I have a comment. And of course, at the end, I'm showing you how to use the math editor. You have a choice of using the math editor or just embed an image. This will give you 20 points, 10 points for the proper question from A to Z, 5 points for a similar one, and 5 points for a proper comment. And it's important to know that it's a proper comment, meaning not just saying thank you, that was nice, and so forth. I've seen that before. So going back to the discussion forum. So for now, you want to be concerned with the first one. The next one repeats. Then we have the second one, third one, fourth one, and fifth one. So those are easy points that you should be able to receive. So going back to the home page, it says optional, the sample test solution. On the left side, we have sample test formulas. This is in case you want to make a note of it. This is in case something goes wrong with Canvas and you don't have access to Canvas for any reason. Then, for example, the first exam or the first module, you will have the same information, the PowerPoints, practice test, solution to practice test. I put them here in case something goes wrong with Canvas. Otherwise, you never ever need this. Okay, so going back to the home page. And so take the exams again using the modules under the modules and my open math and the office hours. So what is left for me is to explain to you about my open math. So let's do this. And as far as my open math is concerned, everybody, I start with the mandatory assignment here because this is not about math. This is just showing you how to work with this. So we start with that. And it's due immediately. It's due tomorrow. So if you click on it, what happens is it starts very simple. For example, enter this number here. So 71.0973. So you enter that. Enter this number, round it to the nearest hundreds. That means you have to change this one. Okay. Because it's 7, it goes up. $71.10. Okay. Can you divide by 0? The answer is no. Normally we say it's undefined, but okay, now let me just clear it. You don't want to do it 2 times. It just does not exist. And then if you submit the question, it check marks to see it, and it tells you it's correct. If it is incorrect, you can get a similar question. Now, you move to the next one and the next one and next one. What happens is that if you click done, it shows that you did one of those questions and it has already registered this grade for you. Anytime you resume, you can continue finishing it off. And that's what I was explaining. You do the homework, and in the middle of the homework, you have to go and come back. That's fine, as long as it's done before the due date. So I can resume or I can exit. So I'm going to exit for now. Then we have the course description. As far as the calendar is concerned, class over here is 4. You can change it to a couple of weeks or more than 4 weeks. As you can see, the very first assignment is due this introduction to MOM, which is due tomorrow. And here's what I've done. All the homework seem to be due on the same day. If you do the homework on that day, you are going to be behind. Here's what you have to do on a daily basis. I hope you remember that practice test. That practice test, every day you do a few questions. 4 or 5 questions at least for a fast-paced course like this. Same thing for the homework here. If you wait until Friday, you are way behind. Every day you have to do a couple of sections minimum. So by the time we get to Friday, not only we are done, but we have also learned. It is a learning process. It can't happen overnight. And then the next day, on Saturday, the exam is due. All the homework are due before each exam. Please do the homework on a daily basis. That's the only way to be successful in this course. I didn't want to make that do every day because I've had in the past students who, for some reason, couldn't do it on a daily basis. So please do it on a daily basis if you want to learn and pass. Now we have modules 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what is module 0? Module 0 is the resources. So again, your practice test as well as your homework, you do it on a daily basis. So first, We have the textbook. Okay, so this is the textbook. Which has the proper setting and the sections. But I'd rather use this one because it's based on this. Because you can view it online. And it's easier to navigate. It's just for the sake of navigation, and it's more like a reference text. If you really follow the information that I have with my PowerPoints and the PowerPoints in the homework of mom, you don't really need the text, but the text is here as a reference. Okay, so the advantage of this one is that it's easier to navigate. It's a lot easier to navigate. Going back to my open math, under module 0, the resources. Information about using late pass. It says how to use a late pass. Again, I really don't recommend that because it's a very fast-paced course. If you want to review any of the assignments, click on your grade for that assignment, and then you can review that. Instructor resources, I went over the formula sheets and tables. You can find them here also. The multimedia library, you can find them. These are all resources. I hope you remember when I talked about calculators. Besides the TI calculator and its emulator, there are many, many online calculators, all of which are for free. I highly recommend you try all of them and see which one works the best for you. The top one, this normally works pretty good. Social science website, Star Trek works good. And really, most of them are pretty good, but you have to get familiar with whatever that works for you the best. And then for a TI calculator and Excel, we have commands and information. So there are a lot of resources. Later on, you learn about p-values, and we have p-value calculators. Again, as we come across them, it becomes easier for you. Some of the calculators, such as Desmos, we even have some videos that explain how to use it. Online stat calculator, daily schedule calculation, study schedule calculator, online stat book, random.org. We have so many resources here, it's unbelievable. I would suggest you take a few minutes, take a look at the resources, and if you don't need any of them, you don't. But for now, we are concentrating on the first module. So when you click on the first module, what do you find? Chapter 1, just 2 and 3. So if you click on chapter 1, you see the section 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. For example, if I click on 1.1, if you watch these videos, class, you probably don't even need to open the text or watch even my PowerPoints recorded portion of it. Okay, it's up to you. Instructors, video lectures. So the ones in red, they may be enough for you. These are instructors' video lectures, recommended video lectures by other professors, and the homework starts. If I click on 1.2, same thing happens. This section PowerPoints, okay, then instructors' video lectures, then recommended video lectures by other professors, and then you have the homework. And as far as the homework is concerned, just the same as before. If you click on it, you just answer it, okay. In a study, the data you collect is wage per hour, so it's quantitative or qualitative. And so if you submit the question, it check marks. If this is wrong, if your answer is wrong, just get a similar question. It gives you a chance to redo it. So just as introduction assignment, if I click on done here, it shows the first question was done right, and it has already recorded my grade, and I can come back and resume it anytime before its due date, or I can exit. That's how you deal with MOM. So let me just give you the synopsis of the MOM. When you go to MOM or My Open Math, first you see the mandatory assignments. You want to do that immediately. Then you see the exams. I'm going to come back to the exams in a moment. Course description, calendar. You see module 0 is all about resources. The only thing you're concerned for now, for the first exam, you're concerned with the first module. And when you go to the very first section, you have the PowerPoints, and the red ones may be good enough for you to get started with the homework. If you watch those, and they are not, by the way, too long, you go to do the homework and you feel comfortable, you're done for that section. Now, I put the exams at top also because you'll find them right here. And the information about the exam will be sent to you along with its password. Everything will be sent to you. All right, let me go back to this home page, and I want to give you the synopsis of what we just did. So when you go to home page, you have a welcome message, class philosophy, you have the announcements. You can always go to the announcements, and everything that has been announced and sent to you and emailed to you, you can find them there. We have the syllabus. Under the syllabus, we have the information about the course, grading policy, and the Excel file as far as what sections to cover. Under the modules, we can find the information about My Open Math. We can print the practice test, watch the PowerPoints. And remember, when you're in MOM, that may be good enough for you that you don't need to do the PowerPoints here. However, the practice test, I can't emphasize this enough, that you have the practice test as well as the solutions, as well as the recorded solution, and you really need to pay attention to that. The discussion forum, there are a couple of discussion forums that are general, such as, student bio and frequently asked questions. The rest of them, each one is worth 20 points. And on the left side, this one is optional, okay, in case Canvas is not available, and then you may take the exam. So this is the synopsis of what you need to know as far as this course. So happy studying, everybody.